Mr. President, I wanted to speak in reference to the words spoken by my good friend and colleague from the 11th District, and certainly echo the sentiment expressed at the end about the importance of working together on these things and about not allowing the acrimony to take us away from the important work we have to do. And those words are fantastic, and everyone should hear them. And I appreciate the opportunity to hear exactly how the situation is being felt and experienced in the other areas around this state. And that's why I wanted to stand up, because that is at the heart, I believe, of why the situation has become so divisive. Because the situation in my district, you mentioned how hot it got in December. That was in my district, Marquette County, Dickinson County, two of the leaders in the nation at the time. And yet the counties across the Upper Peninsula right now are in opposite of the response that your counties, the 11th District is still feeling, are passing resolutions saying, we're not doing these things anymore. That's the attitude and the sentiment of the people in my district who've just experienced what was experienced somewhere else. And so this diversity of experience and diversity of conclusion that comes after the experience is the fundamental reason that our nation has chambers like this one, that has chambers like the one to our north, because it brings the representatives of the state together to have the debate and have the discussion and to relay those sentiments from across the state. And in the end, what wins the day is the majority opinion. The amalgamation of information, the aggregation of opinions come together, and the majority opinion is what is supposed to make that policy. That's what democracy is about. And yet in this state, to this point, we continue to live in a situation where, by the laws passed, we have allowed for one person to continue to unilaterally determine what is the proper thing to do. And those opinions might even be correct, but they are not democratically established. And we're leaving the people of this state powerless. And when we talk about bipartisanship and how important it is, the problem right now is that we could issue every possible thing we wanted. We in this chamber have even passed things unanimously just to have them vetoed. It is impossible for this side of the aisle that I'm on to act right now in a non-bipartisan way, because by the very nature of passing legislation, we need the person on the other side of the aisle to agree with us. And yet, she is able to utilize laws in ways that are not precedented to make unilateral decisions, decisions that are not bipartisan by their very nature. And so, good words last night about bipartisanship, good words here about how important it is that we listen to each other. I wanted to share what my district is experiencing and why the frustration is so high, why people feel powerless, why people feel left out, because we are not following the very fundamentals of what makes this institution necessary. We could all just as well go home if every time we try to come to the table, the person says, I don't like your ideas, and therefore I'm just going to continue to do it my own way. I want to hear what's going on in your district. I want that to influence my decisions. I hope that that's reciprocated for what my district's experiencing, and you hear that we have the same experience. We're all having to live in this nightmare together, whether we agree or disagree. Thank you, Mr. President.